Proper etiquette when speaking on the phone is a hallmark of correct, gentlemanly conduct. So make sure you're not accidentally committing any of the 10 mistakes that we're going to cover today. For instance, answering that now would break rule number 6. Number 1. Making a call when it isn't necessary. It is becoming increasingly popular to utilize other forms of communication when contacting others, especially in regards to personal or social communication. With text, email, and even video calls, we have far more options than in the past. Therefore, it is more considerate and polite to first determine how to reach out. For instance, if you're making an appointment, many businesses now offer online forms. These forms allow you to set up your appointment at your own pace. And this is all done without having to involve the business's staff. Conversely, if you're asking a friend about a meetup later in the week, a short text will allow them to reply at their leisure and provide them with a written record of important details, like date and time. Besides being convenient, some people simply prefer non-telephone conversations, maybe because they have trouble hearing over a distorted line, or because they prefer to see your visual facial cues. If you notice that someone always replies to your cell phone calls with texts or emails, they might be subtly communicating to you that they prefer those methods of communication. Since being polite is fundamentally about making others feel comfortable and respected, consider adapting to their preferences. And in general, we found that in most cases, before calling someone, especially socially, first sending a text briefly outlining what you want to talk about, such as, "Are you free to talk on the phone? I just wanted to discuss our plans this weekend." This gives the other person time to prepare and ensures that you're calling at a good time. Number 2, intruding on others while speaking. Ideally, any phone conversation should stay between you and the person to whom you're speaking. It is impolite to make others unwilling parties to your call by loudly carrying on with your conversation while others are around. We understand that sometimes this is unavoidable, and that's okay. But think of how unpleasant it is to be stuck in a room while the person next to you loudly complains about how expensive their phone bill has become. Whenever possible, avoid making or taking calls in close proximity to others, as Preston covers in our general guide to conversational etiquette. Doing so is doubly unpleasant when on speakerphone. Ideally, leave the confined space to a more open area where you can take the call without disturbing others. If you have to take a call and cannot leave the area, speak in a normal tone and try to resolve the call as quickly as possible so as not to disturb others. Number 3. Offering an impolite greeting. Now, while you can't shake hands over the phone, you can offer a polite greeting that will set a friendly tone for the rest of the conversation, and should always avoid a salutation that appears dismissive or distracted. Answering your phone with a grunt or "yeah" is off-putting, and the caller may not even realize that the line is open, leading to the frustration and awkward and sometimes aggravating "can you hear me?" going back and forth. Instead, consider a much more formal and pleasant opening, such as, "This is Kyle Thibodeau speaking," to set an amicable tone. Everyone loves a delightful phone manner.
Good morning, Dr. Crane's residence. Oh, good morning, Dr. Crane. Oh, thank you, sir. Your phone manner is also delightful.
Obviously, your precise greeting will vary based on your country, whether you say pronto, moshi moshi, or prefer the old school like Mr. Burns.
Ahoy, hoy!
Be sure to say it politely to establish good rapport. Similarly, when ending the call, offer a brief farewell. And please, don't just hang up. That may be how they do it in the movies, but we are more polite in real life. Number 4, failing to introduce yourself. In most situations, when you're telephoning someone else, especially for someone that you don't know, or if you're making business phone calls, the call will naturally present an opportunity to explain who you are and why you are calling. Just like a good introduction in real life. If calling a barber about an appointment, you might say, "Hello, my name is Kyle Thibodeau, and I'm calling to make an appointment to have my beard trimmed. No, I won't need a haircut too." Or, if you're telephoning someone socially for the first time, consider something like, "Hello, Miss Selena Kyle? This is Kyle Thibodeau. Our mutual friend Preston gave me your number. I'm calling you because I have 0 cats." Now, that's a bit of a reference joke. You can find the source here. Taking just a little time to introduce yourself and explain your call provides clarity and a warm reception for the person with whom you're speaking. Number 5, being distracted. Just like with an in-person conversation, employ active listening anytime you're speaking on the phone. And provide your undivided attention. Just because the other person can't see you doesn't mean you should be augmenting the conversation by watching TV, fiddling with your phone, or even cleaning the house. We hope this advice is fairly self-explanatory, so instead let's spend that time going over what I'm wearing today. Today I'm wearing a blue houndstooth blazer with a blue button-up shirt, blue pants with brown dress shoes, 4 Belvedere pocket square, and socks. And my fragrance today happens to be Quattro Rosso from Roberto Ugolini. Now, for amazing fragrances and other pocket squares, socks, and other great accessories, check out our Fort Belvedere shop here. Number 6. Unnecessarily privileging a call over a face-to-face conversation. If you're speaking with someone else and you receive a phone call, don't immediately drop one conversation for the other. Just like you wouldn't abruptly stop a conversation to start talking to someone walking by. The fact that someone else is calling doesn't negate your present conversational obligations. Instead, politely tell your interlocutor, "Excuse me, my phone is ringing and I need to check who is calling. One moment, please." If the call isn't urgent, let it go to voicemail and say something like, "I'm sorry about that. Where were we?" If the call is urgent, say, "I'm so sorry. I have to take this call. I believe it's urgent." And in keeping with rule number 2, consider stepping away. If you're on the phone with someone and someone enters the room to speak with you, tell the person on the phone something like, "One moment, please. Someone has just come in." Ask this newcomer how you can help them, and then either conclude or continue your phone conversation as needed. Don't say, "Sorry, gotta go," and immediately hang up. Conversely, if you receive a call while on the phone, tell the person with whom you're speaking, "I'm sorry, I received a call on the other line. Please let me see who's calling." In most cases, you only want to end that first call if the second call is likely to be urgent. Juggling conversational hierarchies can be tough, but you should always endeavor to treat everyone that's involved as politely and equitably as possible. Number 7, speaking in an unnatural tone. Yelling to be heard in real life rarely makes you more comprehensible.
I don't know what we're yelling about!
And the same is doubly true for telephone calls. If someone is having trouble hearing you over the phone, either due to a bad connection or auditory issues, speaking slowly and clearly is almost always your best option. If the connection is especially poor, you should instead say, "I'm sorry, we have a very bad connection. Please let me call you back to see if that fixes it," rather than trying to shout over the static. If you're in an area with poor reception, like inside a tunnel, underground, or in a tiled room, you may need to say, "The reception where I am is terrible. I'll have to call you back when I go somewhere else." As you might expect, speaking in an unnaturally low tone will make you harder to hear, and you usually only feel the need to do that if you're breaking our next rule. Number 8, conversing in the wrong times and places. There are some places where you obviously shouldn't carry on a phone conversation, while places we hope it would be obvious. These include entertainment venues, like cinemas, concerts, and theaters, solemn occasions like funerals, ceremonies like weddings or graduations, and similar events where your full attention should be focused elsewhere, and you shouldn't be creating distractions for others. If possible, in these circumstances, we suggest completely turning your phone off or turning it silent, ideally before entering the venue to avoid any distractions. But we understand, sometimes you have responsibilities that make it difficult to completely cut yourself off from other communication. In such cases, we recommend that you set your phone to vibrate. Store it in your pocket, and when you feel it start to vibrate, quickly excuse yourself to somewhere more private. Avoid the temptation to immediately answer the phone, or even to check your phone screen in dark environments. Doing so could have the light distract others. There are also less obvious situations in which you should avoid carrying on a phone conversation, of course unless it's an emergency. These include when you're a guest at someone else's home, when you are entertaining or being entertained, while dining, while transacting business, like placing an order for coffee, or any situation in which you should be paying attention to a human being in front of you. If you need to take a call, politely excuse yourself, and try to resolve the issue as quickly as possible. If people have taken the time to meet you in person, you should respect their time and attention as much as is feasible. Number 9, not being mindful of the lack of visual cues while on the phone. When speaking on the phone, be aware of the fact that you don't have the same visual cues when not speaking on the phone. You won't be able to see the way people lift or turn their heads, raise their hands, shift their mouths, or alter their eyes, all of which are subtle ways to show that they have something to say or more to say. Therefore, when speaking on the phone, it is polite to intentionally slow down your pace of speech and provide plenty of brief pauses. This gives the other person opportunities to chime in and will make it less likely that you inadvertently dominate the conversation or interrupt. Number 10, not leaving a message. It is polite to indicate in some way why you were calling. When someone only sees that they've missed a call, they don't know if the call was about something important or urgent, which can create unnecessary confusion and anxiety. This doesn't mean that you have to leave a voicemail. Text messages work too. You could indicate something like, "Sorry I missed you. I was calling about our summer plans." Or if necessary, "Please call me back urgently. this is about Greenot Helga's health. When leaving your message, don't make it overly long, especially not if it's a voicemail. Provide critical information only, your name, a very brief explanation of the purpose of the call, your callback number, and convenient times to call you back if necessary. Ideally, it should be no longer than 20 to 30 seconds. Offering the simple context will quickly convey the nature of the missed call, so the person you're trying to reach is better able to assist with what you need. As with all matters of politeness, the main lesson about proper etiquette when speaking on the phone is simply about being considerate to others, especially in formal or serious situations. What tips do you employ for superlative telephone conversations? Or have you ever been privy to especially poor examples of phone speaking etiquette? Let us know in the comments.